Wine placed last bowl on dining table and turned around to go upstairs to call her husband, and she saw him coming downstairs. He was engaged in his phone. Taehyung, she called him and he spared her a glance. I cooked breakfast. She hoped for a positive response from him, but, and who told you to do that? Wine bite her lower lip. Mind your own business instead of these things. His simple yet harassed words spoke her heart like a knife. He took a glance of dining table and headed out of house. Wine let out a shaking breath and turned towards dining table. It's okay. No one has ever appreciated you or made you feel important and loved, so don't mind him. She consoled herself and tried to smile. Mrs. Joy cleaned dining table and she ran upstairs. Won't you have breakfast? I'm late for college. I should leave as soon as possible or else I'll get myself in trouble. She headed out of house and Mrs. Joy sighed. She cooked foods with lots of hope. She looked at dining table. It was filled with variety of foods which Wine cooked. Wine was very late, so she was almost running towards her classroom and she bumped with someone. It was one of her and she bit her lower lip. Ace, even after having two big ugly eyes, you can't see. Sorry, Yuna. Shiba and Yuna rolled her eyes. Wine proceeded to walk by side, but Yuna grabbed her hand. Oh, princess of your own imaginary world, who will lift my books from floor which fall because of you, huh? Wine sighed and bent down. She grabbed Yuna's book and extended towards Yuna. Yuna took her book from Wine. Wine proceeded to walk again, but Yuna pushed her and she fell down. That's your place, on floor near our feet. She smirked and her friends laughed. Wine only stared at them without saying anything. She didn't even try to protest and take stand for herself. Yuna and her friends walked away. One inhaled deeply and got up from floor. She felt a burning sensation in her knees. She looked down and found her knees bleeding, but she didn't care about treating her wounds and headed towards her classroom. I hope that whole professor is not in classroom yet, or else he won't leave chance to insult me. She reached to her classroom and unfortunately her professor was already in classroom. May I come in, professor? He looked in her direction and she gulped when his cold and strong gaze met her. Oh, ma'am, finally you remember you have class too and you came. His tone was filled with sarcasm and madness. Other students laughed while Wine looked down blankly. Did I crack any joke, huh? Everyone stop laughing. I don't want useless response in my classroom. So mind your studies instead of laughing on others. Classroom got completely silent and Taehyung diverted his gaze on Wine. And Miss Min, may I know the reason why you are late, huh? Wine remained silent and his madness increased. Stand outside till my class gets over. Wine nodded her head slightly and moved aside to stand beside wall. She was feeling like crying. It was also her worst day like always. She was limping and students laughed. What, huh? Is it classroom or any comedy show? Again, classroom got completely silent and the young took a glance of Wine and noticed her limping. And he brought back his attention to student. If any of you laughed again, then get ready for punishment. He grabbed book and started teasing, but his eyes were turning towards door again and again. Once a hand clenched on her bag straps tightly and she squeezed her eyes and her tears started falling. She didn't want anyone to see her crying, so she ran away from there. Solve this question. I'll be right back. He inhaled deeply and went out of classroom. And he frowned after not finding Wine standing on door. Where she went? His anger increased more by thinking Wine didn't respect his order. His fist clenched in madness, but unknowingly something else was also raging inside him, and that was worries as he saw her limping. He started looking for her. Wine sobbed and wiped her tears. I wish I could just die. She mumbled and looked towards the sky. Her tears were not ready to stop. Even Mom, Dad wished for my... She mumbled while remembering all those moments when her parents cursed her. She chuckled sadly. And now Taehyung too. He also hates me and he will also start cursing me soon. She felt pain in her chest. She can't do anything about it. She held her chest and cried silently. What are you doing here? Did I tell you to stand in front classroom? Wine immediately wiped her tears and looked down. Taehyung's teeth clenched when he didn't get any response from her. Are you deaf? Huh? He grabbed her arm and pulled her up. She hissed and then frowned. What happened? Sorry, Professor, for being a trouble for you. I'll go and stand in front classroom. Her voice was barely audible. She turned to leave and he saw her wounded knees. She started walking while limping. Wine, wait. He held her hand. How your knees got hurt. I'd fall. Knew it. Where was your attention while walking? She remained silent and he sighed. First treat your wound and then go in classroom. I'm fine. She removed his hand from her wrist and started walking. Wine, he grabbed her hand again. Professor, leave my hand. Her tone was cold. He stared her for a while and then lifted her and her eyes widened. What are you doing? He headed down and Wine wiggled to get down from his arm. Put me down, someone might see us. But he kept walking. It was class hour and everyone was in classroom, so Taehyung was careless. He got first aid box from staff room and took her in an empty classroom. What are you doing? Let me go. Here, treat your wound. He made her sit on bench. I don't need it. Taehyung sighed and sat beside her. Wine didn't say anything and he started treating her wound. He was taking glances of her face time to time and he found her behavior odd. She didn't show any reaction when he applied medicine on her wound. She didn't hiss even for once. Thanks and sorry for bothering you. She bowed slightly and headed out of classroom. Walk carefully. She didn't say anything and then sighed loudly. Wine took a seat in corner of canteen and started eating, but just after some time, she felt a warm liquid pouring on her head. She squeezed her eyes tightly and heard laughter echoing in canteen. There has been. A guy spoke loudly. Wine opened her eyes and looked at the person who was standing beside her seat with a smirk. What's your problem, Jihoon? Huh? Can't you even let me eat in peace? His smirk got wider and he shook his head while leaning to her level. I don't get peace till I see you in peace, so for sake of my peace, I can't leave you in peace. He winked and Wine glared him with her teary eyes. Laughter was echoing in cafeteria. Jihoon grabbed juice glass from Wine's table and poured on her head. Laughter got more loud. Wine didn't say anything and grabbed her bag and ran out of cafeteria while holding her tears, which was ready to fall. Pathetic. College time got over and Taehyung was waiting for Wine in campus. It was first time when he waited for her. She was hot, so he felt leaving her alone won't be good. Almost all students came out, but Wine was nowhere to see, and then frowned. Where is she? He headed inside to look for her and he found classroom completely empty. Where is this girl? He dialed her number, but her phone was switched off. Taehyung sighed and started looking for her in every corner of college. She was nowhere to see, and at last he decided to go back home by thinking she might went home early. Did Wine came? He asked as soon as Mrs. Joy opened door. Yes, he came in afternoon. Taehyung felt relief and nodded his head. Bring a green tea for me. He headed inside. Taehyung was in corridor and his gaze went on Wine's bedroom. He thought to ask her if her knees is still hurting or it's fine now. He knocked on door but didn't get any response and he frowned. Is he sleeping at this hour? He again knocked but there was no response. Wine. Still there was no response and Mrs. Joy came there with water for him. She's on rooftop. Huh? She went straight on rooftop after coming from college and she didn't come downstairs after that. Then frowned on Wine's behavior and nodded his head. You can go. He took water from her. She walked away and Taehyung sighed. He came on a rooftop. Wine. He looked around but she wasn't there. Wine, where is this girl? He turned to go back and his gaze went on Wine who was laying in a corner. She had hugged her knees and she was curled up in ball. Hey, he went to her and sat beside her. Wine. He didn't get any response from her and he decided to take her in her bedroom. He lifted her and headed downstairs. He laid her on bed and he saw dry tear stain on her cheeks. He bit his lower lip and stared at her and for some reason his heart clenched and he felt guilt raging inside him. What's wrong with her? He stared at her for a while and then started getting up from bed and his hand bumped in something which was kept on nightstand. That thing fell on ground and it grabbed Taehyung's attention. What is this? He took a glance of Wine and lifted that. A cute notebook and only a chuckle left his mouth. It was a notebook which was decorated beautifully and a cute teddy bear keychain was hanging in the cover. It was looking too much cute and for some reason it made him curious. He again took a glance of Wine and turned cover of that notebook. Hey, I'm Wine. Will you be my best friend and listen to me always? Will you let me share my whole day things with you? You know, I don't have anyone who would listen to me and with whom I can talk a lot. So would you like to be my one and only friends? Taehyung's teeth got in his lower lip and he looked at Wine. He got more curious now. Whatever she wrote in first page made him curious. He inhaled deeply and left her bedroom with that diary. Wine woke up and she felt a sharp pain in her head. She squeezed her eyes tightly and cursed herself for crying too much yesterday as she got pain due to too much crying. Again, I invited this headache. She sighed loudly and sat on bed and something hit her mind. I was on rooftop, then how I came here? She frowned as she remembered about going on rooftop after coming from college and then she ended up crying there for a long time. Maybe I came here and it slipped from my mind as I wasn't in sense. She never had someone by her side who would care about her and make sure she's sleeping comfortably, so she thought she came by herself and now she doesn't remember that. She looked at the clock and sighed loudly. I'm late today too. She lazily got down from bed and went to get ready for college. She came downstairs and she got surprised. Good morning. He flashed a smile and she blinked. Is it a dream? I was waiting for you. Come, let's have breakfast fastly. We are getting late for college. I'm not hungry. I should leave or else I'll get late. She started walking towards the door. Wine, wait. Her feet stopped. Come here. His tone was serious. She bit her lower lip and went towards the dining table as she didn't want to witness his anger for now. What? Sit here and finish breakfast first, then we will leave for college. Come sit. He pulled a chair for her. She blinked and took a glance of Mrs. Joy and sat on that chair. Mrs. Joy came to the dining table and started serving them. Mrs. Joy said, you always leave for college without breakfast. He remained silent. From today you will go college with me and you can't leave without having breakfast. She looked at him. I don't like bothering others, so you don't have to worry about me. I can go college by myself. She focused on foods and then stared at her. Her face expression was completely blank. I will manage. You are coming with me. He grabbed her hand and started dragging her towards his car. What's wrong with you? Why you suddenly want to take me with you. He didn't answer. Listen, if my dad told you to do anything, then I don't have anything to do with that. And don't do this to follow his order. He opened car's door for her. I have nothing to do with it, so don't take out your anger on me. Her voice cracked and Taehyung bit his lower lip and forced a smile. It has nothing to do with your dad. It's my choice to take you to college with me. From today, we will go together. She stared him blankly and he inhaled deeply. We are getting late. Sit inside if you don't want to listen my scolding. He joked, but her expression didn't change. We are getting late. Wait here after college. I'll pick you. One stared him and nodded her head slightly. She went out of his car and he sighed loudly. Did you understand wine? His tone was soft. Wine blinked and looked around while nodding her head. Yes, I'll ask questions tomorrow, so understand it properly. Wine nodded her head and looked down at her book. His behavior was too much odd, and it was first day after their marriage when he talked to her in soft tone. Wine sat in corner of cafeteria while taking glance of her. They were busy and she knew they will come to disturb her anyway, so she focused on eating. I'm sitting here. She lifted her head and blinked. Why? Here. Staff room was filled, so I thought to have my lunch here, and you are sitting here alone, so I said, do you have any problem? One looked around and saw everyone looking at them. Miss Min, don't feel awkward and have your lunch. He pointed on her food and he too started eating. One stared him for a while and then she too started eating. One was taking glance of him time to time and she found him eating very slowly and it was odd. He usually finished his meal very fast. I'm done. I'll go. She got up with her plates and headed out of cafeteria, and she didn't get today and she ate peacefully. How was your day? One looked at him. You suddenly start behaving weird. What's the matter? He bit his lower lip. Nothing. I just want to give us a chance. And why suddenly? Till yesterday you were like, I hate you. And today you want to give us a chance. He stared at her while gulping his saliva. He has no answer for her valid question. She inhaled deeply and looked away. I didn't ask Dad for our marriage. Trust me, he would never fulfill my wish. She mumbled in last, but he heard her. He cleared his throat. Let's not discuss about that anymore. She took a glance of him. I'm sorry you got forced in this marriage. I wish I could change things, but anyway, I'll free you soon. Her voice was barely audible, but he heard everything, and his fist clenched on string well. Would you like to go for dinner tonight? She looked at him with questioning gaze. I'm craving for outside foods, and I'll get bored alone, so accompany me. She didn't say anything and looked out of the window. Taehyung sighed and focused on driving. Taehyung took one diary and sighed while staring at it. I should keep this back in her bedroom. He tucked that in his vest and went out of his bedroom. Wine heard a knock and she hummed. Door got open. Wine didn't spare her attention to a door until... What are you doing? She was lying on bed. She hardly sat on bed and looked towards door. You here? I was free, so I thought to help you in studies. He came inside her bedroom and she blinked. You don't mind on studying. That's why you are weak in studies. So from today I'll help you get your books. He sat on bed and Wine was staring him surprisingly. Don't waste time now and get your books. She hesitantly went to get her book and Taehyung pulled her diary from his vest and kept that under pillow. Wine took her books and came back on bed. She was feeling nervous. You are weak in all chapters, so we will start from first chapter, okay? Wine nodded her head and he started teaching her. Did you understand? She shook her head and he sighed. She thought he will get mad on her, but it's okay, I'll explain you again. We are studying from 2 hours, that's why your mind stopped working now. Go walk in garden for a while, you will feel better. She nodded her head and grabbed her phone. She got up to leave, but he held her hand. What? Leave phone here. Using too much phone can affect your mental health. Wine bit her lower lip, and after hearing that, you are suddenly acting very different, and it's weird. She left her phone and went out of her bedroom. Taehyung sighed and rubbed his face. Wine sat in garden and inhaled deeply. Birds' sweet chamberings were echoing in garden, and it was so relaxing. Wine was listening that beautiful music of nature, and she was feeling good there. I should sit here sometime, she mumbled, and Taehyung's thought crossed her mind, and she turned her head in his bedroom's direction, and for her surprise, he was standing on window and staring at her. She too looked in his direction for a while and then looked away. For some reason, she was feeling nervous. Why he's looking at me? She pressed her lips together and again took a glance of his window, and he was still there. He's weird. She got up and immediately headed inside. A chuckle left Taehyung's mouth. She's cute.